Helljumpers, Chapter 20, Voy.
We just lost the perimeter cameras, a technician reported. Motion sensors are down as well, or we're not receiving. Can't tell.
Keys, meanwhile, had come back down to the monitoring station.
Any of our birds squawking?
She asked as she wanted to know the status of the pelicans.
No, ma'am. Wait. Overwatch has contacts. Phantom's closing in on our position.
Another technician replied as she scanned incoming reports.
Any bird less than 5 minutes out, bring them in. Tell everything else to scatter.
The captain ordered, the staff in the ops center immediately getting to work, relaying the order to any pelican outside the base.
We knew they'd find us eventually, but we have a plan. So, let's make it happen.
She told the staff in the room, who all answered in the affirmative. Johnson turned to the chief and Arbiter.
Chief, move out. You too, Arbiter. The commander will brief you as you go.
The two nodded and moved down a set of stairs further into the base. Scootaloo and Twilight started to follow, but were stopped by Captain Keyes.
Not this time, you two. I need you two to cover an engineering crew as they bring up a bomb from downstairs.
She explained as she typed something on her notepad.
Sergeant Sparkle, Corporal Hurricane, you two have to pick up a package down in storage.
Twilight was astounded.
Yes, ma'am!
She said, and ran out of the ops center to a freight elevator. Her mind's in turmoil as she went over what had just happened.
She just promoted me to sergeant?
Twilight thought, as she glanced at Scootaloo, cursing the visors, as she couldn't gauge her reaction to the sudden promotion.
So, Sergeant, what's the plan?
Scootaloo asked, and Twilight could practically hear the grin from under the Pegasus's helmet, making her scratch her last thought, and the Pegasus seemed quite happy with the promotion.
Get the bomb upstairs and help with the evac before getting our tails out of this death trap.
Well, look who's here! I didn't think I'd run down into you here, lassie. A Marine called out, as Scootaloo stepped from the freight elevator. Twilight couldn't help but smile as she recognized the squad.
McGregor, Hopper, Zuyev,
She said, acknowledging the Marines.
good to see you guys, but we're on a clock. Where's the bomb?
Over there, Sarge. McGregor pointed out a large contraption that was being tended to by a group of engineers. That right over there is 40 tons of glorious explosive powder, he said with a grin as Scootaloo let out a laugh.
You want to see this thing blow up, don't you?
She asked the Scottish Marine.
Just a wee bit.
He answered as they reached the explosive.
Status?
Twilight asked one of the engineers who had just attached an explosive to the external of the bomb.
The detonator is fried, but we fix that by attaching external detonation charges. So you only need to start the timer and wait for the fireworks,
He told her as he turned around, his eyes going wide.
Holy shit, you're real.
Hey, I told you we weren't talking out of our asses, Hopper said, the Marine fist-bumping Zuyev, his Russian comrade.
What?
The engineer stuttered before he shook his head.
Fine, fuck it. I'm taking orders from a pony. Jason, get that forklift and move this thing onto the cargo elevator.
He shouted at one of his fellow engineers, who within a couple of minutes had placed the bomb onto the elevator.
She's all yours, ma'am. Me and my boys are going to head to the evac. You do not want to be here when this thing goes off. That goes for us too, Sparkle. Good luck with that thing,
McGregor said, as he and the other Marines were ready to move out themselves.
Do you have any word on how the stalwart Don is doing, McGregor?
Twilight asked the Marine before he could leave.
Screwed, probably,
He answered, and both the ponies winced at that assessment.
The captain kicked off everyone who wasn't necessary, and then went back up to rejoin the defense fleet in orbit. I know the doc made it off the ship, but as for its status, I don't know shit.
Thanks. I've been too busy to check myself.
Twilight thanked him, and hit the elevator's ascend button with her magic.
Godspeed, Sparkle. Give him hell!
He shouted after them as they went back up to the ops center, where a Marine moved the bomb in the middle of the room and started setting a timer. Chief should be back in just a bit, Johnson said, as Twilight walked up to him, and the base started to shake slightly as explosives were being set off somewhere in the base. The captain appeared on the video screen, as she had already left.
Johnson, you might want to put that out.
She said as she saw the sergeant major smoking. He quickly dropped his cigar and stamped it out, as Keyes did have a good point. At the same time, the Chief and Arbiter came running back into the ops center.
Chief, have a look. A little going-away gift for the Covenant. We linked it to smaller charges throughout the base.
The captain told him.
Johnson, soon as the evacuation is complete, start the timer.
Understood, the sergeant major replied curtly.
Good luck, everyone. See you on the last Pelican out.
She said as she disconnected her feed. Chief, Arbiter, Helljumpers, follow me. Brutes have taken the barracks. Marines are trapped inside. Those apes ain't much for mercy, Chief. We both know what they do to prisoners. the sergeant said, as he pulled out an assault rifle from a weapons locker. "Get to the barracks! Save those men! Then, escort them to the landing pad for evac. I'll guard the bomb." The chief nodded and led the group to a door at the back of the room and went down the stairs, opening the blast door that led to the barracks.
Knock knock.
Squidey started, to which Lucy added,
Who's there?
A shot rang out from Twilight's sniper rifle at the same time as the brute fell further into the barracks.
You two know that you're the worst, right? Yep.
Squidey replied as she shot forward alongside the chief and the arbiter. 20 minutes later, they had reached the opposite side of the barracks with all the survivors that they found along the way. Again, the brutes show their weakness, the arbiter muttered as they reached a lift up to the hangar, where the radio crackled to life. "Commander, we lost the ops center. Brutes attacked in force. We couldn't hold them off. We're falling back to the hangar, but don't wait for us," Johnson reported, but the captain stopped their pilot from leaving without him. The elevator reached the top level, where a brute pack was shooting the captain's Pelican, which forced her to retreat. They cleared the hangar of brutes with the saved Marines, and Johnson's squad allowed a Pelican to land. "Brutes in the ops center. They disarmed the bomb. Sorry, Commander, there were too many, even for me," Johnson told Keyes as he stepped up the ramp of the Pelican.
Chief, Arbiter, get back to the op center, kill those brutes, and rearm the bomb. I've gotta get these men out of here, but I'll radio with another exit. Good luck.
Scootaloo quickly opens her own radio channel.
Commander, permission to join them?
She asked, her not being too eager to leave.
Denied, Hurricane. This one's not for your squad.
The Pegasus grumbled for a bit, but relented as she was ordered into the Pelican, which took off. A couple of minutes later, they could see a large jet of flame shooting up into the sky, where the base had been located previously. "Boom goes the firework," Matt commented as he looked at the base. "Nobody fucks with us on our home turf."
Chief, please respond. What's your status? Over. If you can hear me, find transport. Head for the town of Voy.
She could hear the captain call out to the chief. Twilight looked at the disgruntled Pegasus, who walked forward to the cockpit.
Scootaloo, what are you doing?
She asked her, as she had opened the door to the cockpit.
Finding out where we're going. I want to know why we had to miss an awesome fight.
She replied, and stepped into the cockpit only to come out less than a minute later and sat back down in her chair. Twilight then grinned.
And?
Scootaloo huffed.
Classified. We're flying another 45 before we get there.
She grunted.
I'm gonna try and nap if possible.
She closed her eyes and tried to sleep, where others would have found the noise of the Pelican's engines a hindrance to sleep. But for Scootaloo, they were a sign that everything was working properly. Her head fell on her chest as she managed to fall asleep in within minutes. Scootaloo opened her eyes, and she was once again in the burning town of Ponyville. She looked around for the inevitable weapon that would appear every time she woke up in this place. She eventually found the SMG, standing next to the bench that had the corpse of Lyra laying on it. The mare had long since stopped bleeding out in her dreams, and every time Scootaloo found her, she would be long dead, burned by plasma fire. After she checked the ammo, she noticed that this one was a rare occasion, where she was wearing her armor, minus the helmet. She waited for the scream that would indicate the direction of the Covenant soldiers that would inevitably show up. Hearing the scream coming down from the center of town, she spread her wings and took flight, readying her SMG, and she came into view of the town hall where a brute was commanding a squad of grunts in an assault against the building.
Kill the brute, then scatter the grunts to pick them off individually.
She quickly calculated in her mind as she dive-bombed the largest alien. Her energy blade effortlessly severing the spine of the large ape, switching to the SMG, effortlessly cutting down the running grunts.
Scootaloo?
She heard someone ask from behind her. Whirling around to face whoever spoke, she almost came face to face with Rainbow. She then lowered her SMG and sighed.
Go on, tell me what kind of murderer I am.
She bluntly stated, Rainbow looking genuinely confused.
What? Why would I do that?
She practically shouted, startling Scootaloo. In every previous dream, this would be the point where she would be shouted at by her friends.
Squirt, I've been looking for you in the egghead for months now. What?
Scootaloo just replied as gears started to turn in her head.
Wait, you're dreamwalking.
She concluded, and shot forward, embracing the blue Pegasus in a hug, and she started crying. She didn't give a damn that Dash would see her in such a weak state. She just wanted to hold her sister, after not seeing her for months.
It's alright, Squirt. Let it all out. Everything will turn out well like it usually does.
Rainbow awkwardly tried to comfort the filly, who then started to laugh.
Easy for you to say, Dash. Unlike Equus, Earth has a slight invasion problem.
Scootaloo snickered as she stopped embracing Dash, inspecting the outfit that the rainbow-maned pony was wearing.
The Lunar Guard. That's unexpected. I at least expected a Wonderbolt Reserve uniform. Well, the bolts are on hiatus until you and Twilight are back on this planet.
Rainbow answered.
Twilight already told me that you were caught up in the fight, only she didn't want to tell me what you did.
Scootaloo sighed and sat down.
I'm a close-quarter combat specialist, and I know how to fly aircraft. You see these assholes?
She pointed at the fresh corpses that lay on the ground, scattered throughout the courtyard.
They're the crap that we have to deal with out here.
The dream began to ripple.
Celestia, damn it!
Rainbow cursed.
Why do these conversations always get cut short?
Scootaloo had already picked up our SMG and was swirling it around.
Dash, status, what's happening? You're waking up, Squirt.
She replied. Scootaloo nodded and reattached her weapon to her armor.
Well, if that's the case, then wish me luck. I should be back by tonight if I'm not getting shot into oblivion by the Coveys.
Dash then grimaced.
Stay safe out there, Squirt.
Scootaloo made a quick salute with her wing as the dream disintegrated around her and dragged her back into the real world. I have a feeling that one of these days they'll actually get a satisfying dream where everything is said instead of it being cut short. Anywho, I'd love to give a very special thank you to my brilliant donators. Top donator, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, dospo, RuneScythe9852, CourierCruz CI, Delta Omega, Ryanny Dragonwolf, Gagi, Secret Moon, Tallrascha, The Toilet Snake, SoulDragon, Starlight Glimmer, Squidey Boy, David D. Sanchez, Trey, Dak Britton, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, James Delton, Teal K. Anderson, and TV Killer. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.